What's up guys, and welcome back once again to the reviews. Today I'm going to be checking out a mouse, and this one's from MSI, so massive thank you to MSI for sending this over for a review. This is the Clutch GM41 Lightweight V2, so let's get into the review. Right, so this is the GM41 from MSI, the Clutch GM41. This is the V2 version. There's a V1 as well, which I believe is slightly heavier than this one. It probably has a few other different features on it compared to this one, but this is the V2 that I've got. I will leave a link in the description below so you can check out the differences, and you can check out this mouse obviously itself. So let's go through a few of the features that we've got with this mouse. So first of all, it's an ultra lightweight mouse, weighing in only 65 grams, and I can tell you it does feel really light. That makes it probably a tiny little bit heavier than my Model D- from Glorious. It is a little tiny bit heavier, probably 3 or 4 grams heavier, and that is about it really. So it is a really lightweight mouse, and there's no sort of honeycomb shell on the back of here, which you find on a lot of lightweight mice. So this is obviously nice and lightweight for competitive gaming, to allow you to obviously get your aim on people nice and quickly and smoothly. The overall build quality of this is absolutely fantastic. Pressing around on this, I can't feel any, there's literally no creaking whatsoever, no creaking at all in this whole shell. Yeah, the build quality is absolutely fantastic, and it's sort of a matte sort of finish, greyish black sort of colour. It looks really nice. And obviously you can see you've got the RGB on the back here. The design of this mouse is a symmetrical design. As you can see, it's exactly the same both sides. So this is basically for your palm grip, which is kind of what I use, or you can have a claw grip. So that's sort of the two grips this is aimed at. So you've got your claw and your palm grips you can have for both of this for this mouse. So it fits nicely in the hand. Holding it here in the palm grip, it feels absolutely lovely. Put it on the desk. Yeah, it's really comfortable, and obviously being sort of symmetrical, it's also ambidextrous as well, so you can use it in your left hand if you needed to, if you are left-handed. So that's nice to see. It caters for both left and right-handed people. On the side here, hopefully you can pick that up in the video, is basically there's grips on either sides, and these feel absolutely amazing under your thumb and under your pinky finger at the sides. Sort of a diamond pattern grip on the side, rubberized grip, and it feels really nice. And again, holding it allows you to grip it nicely, nice and firm, and you get nice control over this mouse, and it feels absolutely great in the hand. Coming on to the switches, these are Omron switches, as found in a lot of mice. It's nice to see Omron switches. They're obviously one of the most well-known switches for mice, and obviously they're very good. Rated up to 60 million clicks. So yeah, it's again, your mouse buttons are nice. They've got sort of a groove down them as well for your fingers to sit in. Down here, as you can sort of see on the camera, hopefully there's a raised edge here, so obviously your fingers can fit nicely on there. We'll just do a quick sound test of the switches on top. Flipping over to the bottom here, you can see we've got the skates for your mouse to allow it to move smoothly across the surface, and I can definitely say that they work absolutely lovely. Absolutely glides effortlessly across this mouse mat. This is obviously quite a decent mouse mat, but glides absolutely effortlessly across here and feels really nice. There's literally no, well, obviously there is some friction, but there's barely any friction at all between the mouse and the mouse mat, so that's nice. Other than that, on the back we've got obviously the DPI switch to switch between the different DPIs, which you can just do by pressing that, and that will click through. That also shows you on the front of the mouse with a flashing light, shows you which DPI setting you're on, and that will be set in the software for this mouse, which I'll show in a second. The sensor on the bottom for the DPI is up to 16,000 DPI and 400 IPS, and it is the PAW3389 from PixArt, so absolutely quality sensor in there. Can't complain about that at all, and it looks amazing. Also, you've got this MSI logo down the bottom here, which I'll show you just there. As I mentioned before, you've got RGB on the top, nice subtle RGB, there's not loads of it around the outside, it's just RGB on the Dragon logo here, which obviously can be set between, at the moment it's sort of a flashing, breathing between all the different colours. Obviously you can have your standards, which is your steady, rainbow and all that kind of thing, and there will be a bit of customization in there. Again, I'll show you in the software what you can do with it. But yeah, it's just the RGB symbol here for the Dragon. On the top of the mouse we've got the cable coming out, and this has basically been engineered. This is called friction free with an X, and this is basically to reduce the friction on your mouse mat between the cable and the mouse mat, to allow you to glide around more freely, and obviously not ruin your gaming and things like that. And it's nice and flexible and smooth. It's not quite as lightweight and friction free as the one on my Model D minus. However, it is absolutely fine and feels nice, really high quality, so can't complain with that at all. Right, so that's an overview of the mouse. We'll have a quick look at the software, see what you can do in it, and then we'll come back up top and we'll talk about the mouse overall, and I'll give you my thoughts on it. Right, so here we have the MSI Center software, which is the software you use for the mouse and other peripherals, and also your PC and RGB lighting within your PC. So if you've got MSI products, MSI motherboard, graphics card, mice, keyboard, headset, that kind of thing, you can sort them out all within this piece of software. So there's just one center for all of that as well, which is nice to see. Unfortunately, I don't have any MSI other bits to use the software with. However, I will show you through the software and what you can do with it. So obviously, as we're talking about the mouse today, we're going to go into the gaming gear, basically install different sort of apps within this. I've installed a gaming gear and Mystic Light. So we're going to go into the gaming gear one, and obviously it gives us just one option at the moment, which is the mouse itself. We click into there, and then as you can see, this is the settings for the mouse, and you've got profile settings up here. And you can edit the name of them using this as well, so you can select between 3 different profiles there, and have them set up for different, maybe different games and things like that, or for one for creativity and one for gaming, that kind of thing, if you want certain buttons to do certain things, depending on what you're doing. So as you can see here, you've got button 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, which is obviously as button left, button right, middle mouse button, button forward and button back, which is the side buttons on the side of the mouse. And then you can basically say what you want the actions to do and what you want the button to do as well. So that's setting up your buttons, and then obviously you can apply that and set it to default if you want to flip it back to how it should be or how it comes out of the box. Other than that, what you can do in here is you can set the sensor settings, so you can have angle snapping turned on or off. Polling rate, I didn't mention this before, but it's up to 1000 Hertz on the polling rate, and obviously you can drop it all the way down to 125 Hertz if you so wish. You can also change the lift-off distance, which is either low or high. That's obviously for when you're lifting the mouse off the mouse mat, depending on how much you have to lift it off before it stops recognising an input from the sensor, which is obviously you want it as low as possible, mainly for like competitive gaming and stuff like that. Just so you can set it so when you're throwing your mouse about to get those tight turns and things like that to make your aim, then yes, you can sort that out. And then you've got DPI level 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, which is for the button on the bottom, and as I showed you, the light flashes when you're in each one, and on that you can go into the settings and you can change each level from 100 all the way up to 16,000, and then obviously that's the presets of level 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Unfortunately, one thing I don't see on here is it telling you what colour means which setting, which would be nice to see. Maybe MSI I can sort that out later on, but in this piece here I can't see it where it tells you what level 3 is, which colour it is, so it would be nice to have that annotated here, and yeah, so moving on from that, obviously as you saw in there was no settings for changing RGB, so what we'll do is we'll go up to the features and we'll go over to Mystic Light, which is the other app within MSI Sensor that I installed. We'll click that and this will give the options for your RGB. As you can see up here, we've got the mouse selected, which you can also link, so you can link things together so they're the same. As you can see, it noticed the graphics card because it's noticed in my 3080 Founders Edition, which has an RGB light around here. So you can also control that from here as well, so if you want that to match your mouse, then you can do that there. Obviously my motherboard is Asus, so I can't control that from here, but if you did have an MSI motherboard it would let you do that from here, which would be nice. And obviously you can link them all together so everything syncs together, and you've got everything doing the same thing. Again, we've got different profiles. You've got profile 1, 2 and 3 up the top. You've got a game sync option, which gives you a select few games. There's only 5 there at the moment. Whether they'll add more, I don't know. Basically, you can click game sync and it will sync the colours to the game. I assume that's what it does anyway. I don't have any of these games, so I can't test that. But yeah, I assume that's what it does. You've got ambient link, which again I'm assuming is for sort of nanoleaf panels and things like that, looking at these symbols, so you can sync them with that so it syncs to your basically ambient lighting and things like that you've got set up. And then you can go to the Mystic Light settings and you can use third-party RGB and voice commands. So it does allow some integration with third-party RGB. Sorry, this doesn't allow integration. This is basically telling you that Mystic Light will overwrite the RGB software from third parties. So anything else that's controlling RGB, say my Asus motherboard is currently controlling my 38 RGB, I'm basically telling this it's allowed to overwrite it if I change any settings. So there's that in there. And then you've got voice command, which is basically say hey Lucky, so it's like sort of Alexa. To do voice commands you can turn that on or off, which will obviously use your headset or your microphone to do that. So let's go back to the profiles. Like I say, 1, 2 and 3 for different settings. You've got the name of the mouse there, and then you've got your different styles here. You've either got the RGB off, you've got it as a steady colour, a rainbow, a breathing on a colour, or you can customise. Let's have a quick look at what you can do at customising. That is basically selecting an amount of different colours for it to switch between, and you can change the brightness as well. Obviously on your rainbow effects and things like that, you can change the light speed, and you can also change the brightness again, up or down, as you so wish, to change it, so whether it's really bright or and in your face, or if it's a bit more subtle. So yeah, that's the software. Let's get back up top and I'll give you my final thoughts on the mouse. Right, so there we have the GM41 V2 lightweight mouse from MSI. Again, massive thank you to MSI for sending this over. My overall thoughts of this are it's absolutely fantastic. I believe the price is around £45 to £50 in the UK. Again, I'll put links in the description below so you can check for yourself. And at that price, I can definitely recommend this. It's a really decent price. So if you're looking for a lightweight mouse and maybe you don't want the ones with the honeycomb shell on it, like the Glorious mice, then this one is definitely going to be for you. It's really light. The construction's absolutely beautiful. The grips on the side make it really nice to use. The feet on the bottom, it glides so nicely across your mouse mat. I'm really impressed with this. Obviously I didn't expect it to be bad, it's from MSI, but I'm really impressed with this mouse. I've not, in terms of the mouse itself, in terms of functionality, I can't fault it. I can't say there's anything in particularly wrong with it. Maybe they could do another version with a bit more lighting on it, but then obviously that's probably going to increase the weight. I'm not sure exactly the full range of mice that MSI do, so they may do one with a lot more RGB on it. Again, there'll be a link in the description below for you to check out their other stuff. But in terms of quality and the way this feels, and I've had a little play around with it and had a little game with it, it feels absolutely fantastic. It feels really nice. So like I said, I can't complain about it in the slightest. The cord, yeah, absolutely lovely. Obviously, it's not quite. I'm gonna say this, throw it out there because I like to give an honest review. It's not quite as good as the one from Glorious. I am gonna say that, but it's by no means bad, and it's adequate for. It's more than adequate for most people, and yeah, you can't even notice it's there when you're playing with it. So it's a very sort of small, minor thing I've got to say about it. Other than the mouse itself, the software is really easy to use. Like I say, the only thing I'd say is to update it so it shows you on the screen your DPI settings on what colour they relate to, as it doesn't show you on there, unless I'm missing something, but it doesn't show you on the software that I've seen. And it is nice to have all the software sort of in one sensor. If you've got MSI stuff, everything can go through there, which is nice to see. So if you're an MSI fan, which I actually am, I've just not got any of their stuff at the moment, then yeah, you're going to absolutely love this. It will fit nicely in with anyone's setup, especially with the colour of it. Obviously it's a nice sort of gunmetal dark grey, fit in with anyone's setup. And yeah, that's it, guys. Like I say, I hope that's been an interesting video for you. And hopefully, if you're looking at buying this mouse, or you're considering what mice to buy, and you had sort of budget of around, I don't know, £40 to £60, then I can definitely recommend this. The price is on point pretty much for where it should be, and yeah, it's really, really good mouse. I cannot fault it whatsoever. I have got some more videos that come in of MSI products, because MSI have been very kind and sent these products over for me to review. I've got a keyboard and a headset coming very soon, so make sure you stay tuned for that. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment, or dislike if you didn't like it. And like I say, it'll be good to see you guys in the next video. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.